Best of r/Tales from Tech Support episode 55. First job as a consultant years ago. One of our clients was the local radio station. There was a problem with one of the DJ's computers. I drove over to the radio station to take a look. I asked if the booth was going to be open for a bit. The receptionist says yes. So I go into booth and start troubleshooting it. Then, before I know it, the DJs come in the room and start to get ready to go live. I look at them, and one gives the "you're good to keep working" look, so I do. They go live and start talking about how the computer man is here and he looks like he's about 16. DJ 1: so how old is he? DJ 2: he is on the clock, don't disturb him. Me, signaling with my hand, 2. DJ 2, looks like he's 22. DJ 1, well, he looks like he's 16. They then go on to talk about how they didn't have computers when they were younger, blah blah blah. I finish fixing the problem and make my way out. I look at the receptionist on my way out and she just smiles at me. That was my 15 minutes of fame, I guess. Edit. Thanks Reddit. I never thought this story would blow up to this level. Thank you. Next. Long story short, I work for a small national charity in the UK. My role is admin. Paper not network. Although due to I assume my age, one of the youngest in the company, and exposing that I'm quite good with tech over my time here, I've become the go-to for problems instead of our external ad support. One or two of our users have messed up domain profiles, which I believe is due to them not logging in for long periods so it stays in sync. Now this has usually been fixed in the past by sorting their profile on the server and local machine. I explained that I believe her issue, her desktop files moving or renaming / being older versions, was likely this desync, and to contact our ad support as this is outside of my remit. I check my emails before bed tonight and discover she has copied in a colleague having a similar issue and one of my managers accusing me of not listening. Like WTF, I explained it to you. I then watched you make what I believe to be a snide comment to colleague under your breath right in front of me, and then they pulled that. Come on. Thank you. Next. This one's one of my favorite tech issues I've witnessed. I woke up in the middle of the night one night and noticed that my wife's laptop had blue screened. Chuckled a bit to myself as I knew she wasn't going to be happy when she woke up in a few hours. We both worked IT, but she was more of a system admin than myself, the lowly desktop tech. She knew her shit and would be addressing the issue even before her coffee was brewed. I went back to bed for a few hours and by the time I woke up for the day, she was already trying to copy her data off the machine that had errored out and onto her backup machine. I heard her muttering while I got dressed for work and decided to poke my head in and find out what was giving her trouble. She was using a USB easy transfer cable to move her data and the machine on the receiving end wasn't recognizing the cable. As I tossed my coat on, I asked her, "Did you try turning the cable around?" She snapped back some unpleasantness and I headed off to work with a chuckle. It wasn't even 6 AM and I had already started my day off on a high note. About a half hour later, just as I was getting to my exit for work, my phone rang. "Your stupid fucking idea worked. You're gonna have to narrow it down. It shouldn't have mattered, but I turned the cable around and the transfer was over in minutes." Okay. I even marked the cable so I don't have the same problem the next time. I didn't have the heart to tell her that the problem wasn't fixed by flipping the cable. It was fixed by unplugging the cable and plugging it back in because the system didn't recognize the USB device the first time. When I got home that night, she made my favorite dinner, chicken parm. Thank you. Next. I work in the healthcare industry, USA. Many users started their medical careers before computers, and have not had formal training with technology, just process memorization. But then there's the truly clueless ones. This is one such. Corporate recently decided to move the medical coders home, which placed one very special user out of reach. She has a very difficult time with computers, like, doesn't know a keyboard from her mouse. Job is 100% computer based. So the inevitable happens. Ticket comes in with garbled, nonsensical details. Her PC is not pingable, which means she's not on the VPN, and I can't remote in to see her machine. So I call. Turns out she is unable to reach any of her files, but there's no problem connecting. She gets online, and I realize the coders will need to manually run the login script to map their drives, plus extras. I transfer a shortcut to the script over the network to her desktop. Me, okay, to solve this in the future, after you connect to the VPN, double-click the file on your desktop. Login script. Her, connect to what? Me, describes the process of her connect to our network. Her, then what? Me, double-click login script. Her, where is that? Me, on your desktop. Her, I don't see it. Me, right in the middle of your desktop. This continues back and forth for several minutes, with me changing the way I describe the file and its location. I even highlight it at one point. She can't see it. After verifying no programs are open, monitor is on. I can't figure out why she can't identify the file. Her, oh, I see it, on my monitor. Me, yes, where else? Her, I was looking around my keyboard. Yes, she thought I had somehow entered her home, placed a file on her desktop, and got back on my phone in my office. Don't ask me how she planned to double-click it, much less run it. Thank you. Next. New poster here. So this is from when I was working the tech support/service department of a well-known big box electronics retailer whose uniform is blue polos and khakis. We have a client who brings their computer in for it not working. Well, sure enough, plug it in, hit the switch, and nothing. It's an integrated system where you have to do a pretty thorough teardown to remove any component or connection. I mention this because under different circumstances I would use a test power supply and would remove the hard drive to see if it works. As that was not possible in a reasonable amount of time, I move on to explaining the prices for a diagnostic. Since I can't pull the hard drive to see if it's working, I strongly recommend that she also get a data backup even though it's unlikely that the drive is failed. Now at the time, there were 2 data backups that we offered. One was limited, ran $100. The other was called unlimited and ran $150. The difference is that limited is done on DVDs while the unlimited included a 500 GB hard drive. The limited data back was technically limited to 4 GB and 2 disks, but we could fudge it and do 4 or 5 disks without an issue. So I asked the customer how much data they had on the hard drive. I have a couple pictures, and some Word documents, was her answer. Cool. So I sign her up for the limited backup, achieve authorization to do the data transfer, get the service order written up, collect payment, and have her sign everything. Get everything checked in. Give her the client copies and get everything set up. When we went to do the backup, we discovered that her documents folder was over 400 GBs in size. We can't do that on DVDs, and we can't just take a hard drive and add it to the service order. We needed her to come in and sign an updated service order. The ops agent calls her, no answer, and they leave a message. 2 days, no answer. Went send an email and call her, no answer, and again we leave a message. 2 more days, still no answer. We again send an email and call and leave a message. 2 more days. This went up for 24 days. Multiple messages, multiple emails, no responses to any of them. Finally, she comes into the store and wants to pick up her computer. We go to explain the situation to her. She wants to know why we didn't call her. I tell her that we had called multiple times and left multiple messages. She says she never got any calls. I pull the call log and show the number we called. She confirmed that it was her cell phone. I ask if she has her cell phone with her. She does. I ask to see it. I quickly indicate the 99 plus missed calls indicator on her screen. Oh, I never answer a call from a number I don't recognize. I figure if it's important they will leave a message. She says, okay, not unreasonable. I then indicate the 99 plus voicemails indicator. Oh, I never listen to those. I figure if it's important they will call back. She says. This is about the point where I think my brain literally broke and I had to take a moment to reset. I return to explaining the backup situation. We've already agreed to eat the $50 difference at this point just to get the ticket closed so it will stop killing our turn time. So she wouldn't need to pay anything. This seemed to be a non-issue for her, right up until I mentioned the 24-48 hour turnaround time. Apparently she was not going to accept any option that didn't end in her walking out with her computer in working order within the hour. So I'm going to abbreviate at this point. She demanded to see the manager. The manager can't change the laws of physics and isn't inclined to bump other customer machines from the line for someone that is screaming at him. So no change. We can cancel the order, refund her money, and she can take her non-working computer, or she can give us the 48 hours to do the data transfer and diags. There really isn't another option. She leaves in a huff saying she's going to call the cops. Surprise. 2 days later we actually have a visit from the cops investigating a complaint that we had stolen her computer. I don't know exactly what occurred, but the store manager asked for the records. I grabbed them and an hour later the cops left and the store manager said no worries. Have a good day. When I left that store a year and a half later, that computer was still in holding. No idea whatever happened to it. Thank you. Next. This happened back in the mid-2000s. My parents owned a cyber cafe and my dad was the somewhat tech guy. He knew enough to make the place run properly. Every single day we would have our handful of characters coming in and my father wasn't really fond of lazy/dumb people. He didn't mind a person not knowing that Firefox/Chrome was the same as IE. Kind of. But he used to get really worked up when someone would just say that something wasn't working and there was a Windows asking if the user wanted to continue yes/no. Here is the most common one. Customer, excuse me, sir, but the computer isn't working. Dad, what happened? Customer, I don't know. I just can't close Word. I click to close it but it doesn't close. This window pops up instead. Dad, what does it say? Customer, I don't know. Dad, did you read it? Customer, no. Dad, then read it. Customer, do you want to save? Save/don't save/cancel Dad. So? Customer, so what? Dad, what do you want to do? Do you want to save? Customer, no, I just want to close Word. Dad, then click don't save. Customer, oh, okay, thanks. We also used to have a recurring one with thumb drives. Customer, hey, I would like to put some songs in my thumb drive. Could you do it now or can I leave it here and get it when you're done? Dad, you can leave it here, but first, I need a list of songs you want. Customer, writes down the songs and hands my dad the drive. Dad, okay, just wait a second so I can scan the drive for viruses. If it's infected, I can't do it and have to give your drive back. Customer, wait, you have to access my thumb drive? Dad, yeah, that's the only way I can scan it and upload the songs. Customer, no, I will not allow you to access my personal information. I just want you to do your job, that's it. Dad, sorry, but I can't do my job without having access to the drive. Customer, fine, give it back to me. I'll find someone else who'll do it, since you don't want to. We don't have much encounters with these creatures anymore, but it was fun to listen my parents tell those stories to me when I was a kid. Now, I'm the one who tells them those stories. Thank you. Next. TL. Dr. Design was from chaos to control. A design flaw reversed that process. 25 years ago. 8 p.m. Written. $boss. Hi $me. There is trouble at the peanut drying plant. It seems the system cut out all of a sudden. $me. Hang on. The system has completely stopped working mid-process? That sounds bad. $boss. Yep. They don't sound too happy. Better you go there and see what is going on. On arrival I see things are indeed bad. I see 2 piles several feet high of peanuts between the machines. $me. This is not as planned, is it? $operator. Yeah, humor me. I don't know what is wrong. I just saw the stuff starting to flow over in places. $me. I'll have a look on what is wrong. As it turned out, the power to one of the machine control boxes had been cut and it didn't restart properly. Log files simply stopped, so there's no real telling why it didn't start up properly. I reboot the box and watch it start up properly. I hear some noises that are all too familiar. The sound of valves moving to the closed position on all the empty silos. OHLL no. $me. I think I can retrace what happened. I need to make a call or two. $operator. Okay, but will this happen again? $me. It might, so I will stay over tonight to keep an extra eye on things. I have no choice. Ring. $me. Hi $boss. I found the culprit. I need to call $mechanic from other company to make him go here tomorrow. $boss. So, what was wrong? Did we make a mistake? $me. Yeah, well, I don't know. It is absolutely a design flaw. Not sure who is to blame. You see, the standard powered on position of those shutter valves was open. If unpowered they would shut. To shut them when powered on you had to do so by giving them a signal. So when only the control box went out, all silos opened the shutters and chaos ensued. I look at the piles of peanuts. $me. You need a hand with that? $operator, if you don't mind. $me. Anything for the customer, even if it means shoveling peanuts. I have been back 2 or 3 times to adjust some settings and for an update of the central control box with a new and improved user interface. But I never had to shovel peanuts again.